morning, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of Hooked on Mortgages. We have a special guest, Tony Gomez, Uncle Tony G. Tony, why don't you give everybody a little update of who you are and where you're at, so none of us are jealous of you.
Yeah, so my name is Tony Gomez, and I'm a health insurance advisor. And I'm operating out of Medellin, Colombia, but I'm helping people all over the country when it comes to their health and life insurances.
Okay, awesome, man. Just kind of just to get a little background for everybody. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up? A little.
Absolutely. So I'm a Miami boy, grew up, born and raised in the 305. Went to Christopher Columbus High School, and
Adelante.
and Adelante. And from there, actually became a chef for 20 years and cooked all over the world. Had a restaurant at one point, food truck, and a private chef business over in Austin, Texas. And unfortunately, in 2020, as you all know what happened there,
Yeah.
lost deposits and everything for my private chef business. So that's when I decided to pivot and really help people in a different fashion, not just in food, but in when it comes to insurance, because without health, there is no wealth. And insurance to me is very important when it comes to making sure you have the right plan. So that's kind of my journey through the career path. And yeah, born and raised in Miami. I still love Miami. Always come back to Miami, but taking a break for a little bit now.
Oh, of course, of course. And just I guess get a little background of it. Obviously, a lot of your social media and everything is Uncle Tony G. Where does that nickname come from?
So Uncle Tony G, what came from, I used to do a lot of private chef gigs for yoga events. And in these yoga events, I would always be like, hey, you're like Uncle Tony G, man. You're always taking care of everyone. And they would call me Uncle Tony G. And from there, I just said, you know what? Why? This is me. This is who I am. I don't have kids. I have my nephew, my niece, and all my friends have kids. They all call me Uncle Tony G. So it just fit to name my business Uncle Tony G and brand myself as that because I'm always here to help, just as his uncle would.
Okay, and the star was born. So obviously, you kind of got the origins of where how you transitioned into to insurance. Starting off, especially in 2020, obviously business ran a little bit different at that time. What was some of the challenges that you faced starting off in the industry, coming from a chef to an insurance agent and starting to build your business?
I think the hardest thing is getting in your own way. And I think that's for a lot of businesses in general. But for the most part, it's just really believing in yourself. It's a challenge when you have all this new information, and you're trying to learn detail, and you learn it, and then you don't want to end up what I call throwing up or telling the client every little detail because they're going to get lost. They don't know insurance. So that was my biggest challenge because I started to really learn every little detail, and then I would tell them everything because I knew every detail, and I would just lose them because they were like, "What are you talking about?" So it was really a learning curve for me to step back and talk to people in a fashion that could relate to them. And then really understanding that this is a people business, just like the food industry, the hospitality industry, mortgage industry, it's a people business. And as long as you can relate to people, that's the key.
Okay. And then, I mean, just obviously 2020, again, a lot of this is, there's not a lot of in-person stuff going on. You're starting up your career. How did you, really get into getting business for yourself and just kind of starting to build that book up?
A couple outlets. I was actually doing this part-time when I first started, and I would Uber. And as I was Ubering, I would give my card to all my clients that were in the Uber. And I actually got business in that fashion, lead generating through that fashion, because insurance is something that everyone needs. That was top of mind with all the health crisis going on and people losing jobs and whatnot. So it was actually pretty funny that I was making money with doing Uber, but at the same time, that was helping me start off my business when it came to insurance. And then I joined a BNI chapter, as you know, that helped me network a little more. And then just being on the phones and really trying to talk to as many people as I can about their health insurance, being more visible.
Okay, awesome. I mean, obviously, I would say Uber, is a pretty, I mean, that's a pretty big point. But is there any other spot that you saw as a pivotal point in your business that really switched it or made it go from one level to the next?
Yes, basically, when I started really diving into helping small businesses and helping that section of insurance, not just individuals, really helped me because it wasn't just one, policy. From then it was, 10, 12, and it really jump started my business and really helping small businesses able to give insurance to their employees, their team members, and making their business more attractive, keeping retention rate high. That way, their team members stay and they're happy. So that really helped me, boost and scale my business by helping these small businesses.
Okay, awesome. And now just diving into the insurance part of your business, is there any specific that you specialize in, or is it all the above? Why don't you give us a little background on that?
Pretty much, it's all the above. The only, it comes to individual, families, small businesses. I do work with big businesses and has 50 plus, but that's really not my forte. Uh, or less, individual and small business, right? And it comes to all the carriers because I don't work for one particular carrier. So I could help anyone anywhere with any insurance when it comes to health and life insurance.
Okay. I mean, I know you kind of touched on it, about becoming an insurance agent. You enjoy it because, you're able to benefit people's lives. Obviously, health is a major, part of your life. What do you enjoy most about being an insurance agent?
Well, like, basically, I want all my clients to never call me because insurance is, made for the just in case, not the every case type of deal. But when they do call me and something big occurs and they had the best, coverage possible, the best doctor, they're able to see, all the specialists for whatever that occurred. And they're super happy and they overcome that. And financially, they're in a good place because I put them on the right plan. That makes my day. That's when I know I did, a good deed right there for my client.
Okay. And then just again, just on the life, obviously things are a little different from when you started driving Uber, passing out cards. But what's the life of an insurance agent look like? Now, maybe obviously waking up in the mountains of Medellin, but I guess what's kind of your day to day look like?
But locations change, but the process still the same. Morning time, I'm calling prospects. Afternoon, customer service. Nighttime, typically having presentations with any future clients, and basically that is 7 days a week for me. That process has not changed in 4.5 years, and I don't plan to change that. I love it. I love the lifestyle because I could do this from anywhere. But at the same token, I could help a lot of people all over the country with this type of process.
Okay. I mean, just to kind of address some questions, obviously insurance is a foreign language to most people. What do you see as common concerns or common questions people have when searching for coverage?
There's a couple things. One, people think because I have insurance that automatically everything's covered. That word covered, and insurance is there just to lower the cost of the service. It's not there to completely take care of the service. So that's one, thing that people misunderstand with insurance. Another one of terminologies I would say is deductible and premium and out-of-pocket max. That right there is kind of the basis of insurance. What does that mean? Premium you pay monthly. That's just to have the insurance, and then your deductible is you have to reach a certain point dollar wise, and that's the deductible. Once you reach that, then it pays up co-insurance. Co-insurance could vary from 80-20, 70-30, 60-40. What does that mean? That means that 80% bill is going to be paid by the insurance and 20% is going to be paid by you. Now, the out-of-pocket max. Once you reach that out-of-pocket max, typically from 5 to 9,000 in that range, once you hit that for the year, it pays 100% on out. So that's for the big stuff. So if you were to get cancer, or you were skiing and you tore a meniscus, that's when you have those big bills, right? And that's how insurance, the base of insurance, works.
Oh, you hit a soft spot with the knee there. Been there with the ACL, meniscus. Um, Now, obviously, you kind of answered one of my questions just in regards to kind of common terms, people may hear when it comes to insurance. But when it comes to coverage, how do you determine which is best for someone or which policy would
Well,
be best for someone?
let me say there's three ways to get insurance in this country. You're gonna have either work for a big company that's 50 plus, and you get that group insurance, and they pay for you. That's one insurance called group insurance. Then there's the individual market, which everybody knows it as Obamacare, which is made for two types of people: people that have a lot of pre-existing conditions, because those plans are guaranteed, and then people that don't make a lot of money, because then that's where the Obamacare, aka it's a slang word, that's where the government pays a percentage of that plan. And then last but not least, you have private insurance, which typically you have to go through a medical underwriting process. So they look at your medical history and approve you. And that's kind of the three outlets of how you get insurance. And I basically will ask the client how much they make per year to see if we get discount and how healthy they are.
And then just in regards to, certain policies, I know, exclusions or limitations might be part of the policies. Can you explain a little bit in detail as to what that is?
Absolutely. So not every policy is going to have coverage for all things. So that's what an exclusion is. It means that it's going to exclude from that particular thing. For instance, there might be policies that don't have benefits for emotional disorders or maternity, or they don't have benefits for drug and alcohol abuse. So those are called exclusions. Now, when it comes to what was the other term you asked?
Limitations.
Limitations, right? So it might be a limitation on how many times you could go see a chiropractor or go see a physical therapy. So not every plan is the same. There's roughly 148 plans, the market exchange. Hence why you want to work with an agent, so I could really find the plan that can work best for your health needs and your budget.
Okay. And then obviously there's a ton of plans. There's a lot of terms out there. I know HMO, PPO are kind of the two ones that most people hear when it comes to insurance coverage. Can you kind of explain those a little bit? And then I don't know if there's a difference in cost or what the main difference is, but just a kind of a layman's definition for both.
Absolutely. So that's just a network of doctors that you could see. So HMO plans are going to be very limited on the doctors that are in network. You're typically just in the local area. And every time you see a specialist, you have to go to a primary doctor, and they tell you who to go to. There's a gatekeeper, basically. Now, with the PPO plan is nationwide coverage, and there's no referrals needed. So you have access to doctors all over the country. And there's no difference of specialist or primary on a PPO. And then you have an EPO, which is a hybrid, right in the middle. So those are basically the three network of doctors that you can see. And PPO plans are typically more expensive on the marketplace because you can see doctors anywhere. And then on the private sector, they're going to be more affordable because you're in a low risk bucket of people. And those are different PPOs.
Okay. And this is, just kind of, a side note, obviously you being in Colombia right now, when it comes for people, currently in the United States, they have their current insurance program. Are they able to purchase or get insurance? Let's say they are going to, maybe moving to a country for a couple months or even just going on vacation, just a specific coverage?
Absolutely. So I'm going to give a hack, a travel hack.
Okay.
If you own a credit card like American Express, well, you have travel insurance built into it, medical travel insurance. So check with your credit card first to see if they will have some coverage for you when it comes to travel insurance. And then you could purchase travel insurance as well. That's super easy. You just give me a call and I'll help you out with it. And then last but not least, if you're going to stay in the country for a couple months, like I'm doing, I actually purchase insurance here, have Colombian insurance. So There's definitely a lot of ways to make sure that you're covered when it comes to your health, even abroad.
Okay, awesome. Obviously, you've been doing this for it's coming up on 5 years now. We always like to ask, certain stories. Is there any one in particular that I guess sticks out that you always remember for a particular client that you helped?
Oh, absolutely. It was actually a torn meniscus. It was
Again.
a lady that I helped, with insurance and the whole family. Uh, Basically, they were paying around $3,000. Was a family of five, down to 1,800 a month for the whole family. Second day on the policy, she went skiing in Aspen and torn meniscus. Had to have full surgery, therapy, the whole deal. Um, Luckily, she was on a great plan, PPO, and her out of pocket cost was $250 for
Wow.
the whole surgery. And the surgery was around 84 altogether with therapy.
Oh wow. That's a nice.
Yeah. So that kind of made my day, but at the same time, I was like, oh, second day.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know if you say good timing or bad timing on that one,
Yeah.
um, but just for I guess kind of wrapping up, what's the best piece of advice that you've received? I guess that you use throughout your day to kind of help drive your business and try help people.
Um, don't take things personal. Um, Keep going and believe in yourself. I think that's ultimately, the hardest thing in any type of entrepreneur field, because you're going on your own, commission based. And you just got to believe in yourself and know that you're doing the right thing for people. And when you know that truly, it comes out. The outcome, right? But really, the focus, the mission is to help people. So as long as you know that it's to help people, and you go and you just do that, the outcome's going to be the income.
Okay. Tony, just wrapping up, we ask all of our guests on the show, obviously from Miami, after your morning or afternoon cafecito, there's kind of a war that we have, whether it's an empanada or a croqueta. What is what is your go-to when it comes to the
The best ham croquette in the world, my grandma. So definitely 100% ham croquette, team croquette.
Okay, team croqueta. Okay, perfect. Glad to hear it. I'm a team croqueta, so um and I guess again, obviously being a chef, in Medellin, one last question again before we go is there any particular, what I guess your particular dish that your favorite dish to cook, something that your last meal on earth that you'd make yourself, or is there anyone that sticks out?
Um, Oof, that's a hard one. Let's see, that last dish for me, it would be a carbonara. Carbonara is probably just comfort. I grew up eating that my whole life, and now I make it with a true guanciale and pecorino the way it's supposed to be. No cream ever,
Yeah, no.
and yeah.
Okay, perfect. Again, wrapping up, is there anything else that, that we didn't touch on, whether it comes to insurance or anything in particular that either you advise your clients? I know we spoke about a lot, but just, anything else off the top of your head?
I would say, when you're young, grab it. Go. That's the time to get insurance, um, because most people wait till they start getting conditions or any pre-existing conditions, and that's when insurance gets expensive. So if you're young and healthy, that's when you want to grab your insurance. So when you're older, you have a good policy that's going to cover and have a great. It's my best advice.
Okay, perfect, man. I appreciate it. Tony, thank you for coming on the show.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for answering all the questions. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up. So everyone, I appreciate you listening. Hope you learned something, and until the next one, have a good one. Thanks.